dealing with. We're dealing with godless heathens importing heathens that believe in a different god. And the reality is it's actually diabolical. If you look at the last 24 hours, a Muslim killed 3 Americans in Syria, 5 Muslims were arrested for plotting a massacre at a Christmas market in Germany, Paris concert canceled due to Muslim violence, 2 Muslims murdered 12 people at a Hanukkah party, it's now up to 15 in Australia. Truly Islamophobia getting out of control. Now, the reality is there were more instances than this too. There was a shooting that we don't know who did the shooting in Brown University in Rhode Island. We don't know who did that, but the guy allegedly screamed Allahu Akbar before committing the shooting, even though the guy managed to get away, it seems. We also had another instance of 4 Palestinian activists getting arrested for planting bombs all over Los Angeles, like the Joker. So this is true Islamophobia at the highest levels. Now, you're probably wondering why you have so many peaceful countries like the United Arab Emirates. Well, Saudi Arabia, for example, executed 340 people in 2025. A new record. They've found a solution. They found a solution to crime, and that is mass executions. Pretty diabolical. I saw this and I literally lost my mind. Hello, Grok. How many of the 340 were Pakistanis? Now, I was like, why would they ask something like that? What a stupid question. What a dumb, stupid question. What a dumb, stupid question. 338 were Pakistani. 338 out of 340 were Pakistani. Bro! No, that's crazy. So anyway, I'm not saying that that's a solution or anything. I'm just saying they're like they handle this very differently than we do in the West, because we import these people. We think they're just gonna like become wonderful Westerners, and then they kill us. It's pretty insane how that keeps happening.
This animated motherfucking character, I probably started watching this dude like maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago. I don't know how it's taken me so long, but I don't understand. We're gonna talk about this dude a little bit. Nuxanor. Well, let me turn down my TV. I'm about to go in. I am officially become radical. I am a radical white man now. My best friend is black, so that it's not a race thing, right? This is incredible. I was alive during September 11th, 2001. I remember what happened weeks and months after. I remember the incessant Islamophobia. Was it warranted? No. The majority of the people in our surrounding weren't terrorist jihadists. They were Americans going to work, but they had gotten caught up in, somebody who looked like you just crashed into the fucking you know what I mean? Like, it's like the Japanese who bombed Pearl Harbor. Then what? They went in fucking internment camps. Like, your ethnic race does something to our country, all of a sudden it's a blanket. Everybody of your ethnic race is now, they don't get the benefit of doubt. Let's put it that way. I don't make the fucking rules. I'm just observant. Now, why is somebody with no college education, who's been drugged out of their mind for, let's say, 15 years of his adult life, why am I able to put together things, but the media's not talking about it? Well, they all know. They're not saying. So it's propaganda, one way or another. What you say could be propaganda, but what you don't say could be even more propaganda. So, I don't normally do this. I'm going to let this video run. I'm going to jump in when I can. It's fair use. I don't make any fucking money off YouTube anyways, but people need to start paying attention. Let's get it popping, baby. You can tell them Nux. What are we talking about today? Hold on. What are we talking about out here?
So, lock in, everybody. Think Before You Sleep just made a video about how the left became violent, and I helped him on this video a little bit. So I helped him a lot, specifically in the Hassan and Younger related situations, and I'm excited to see what actually happened. Because he told me, he didn't want to reveal everything he found, but you don't understand how actually scary it is. Because every attack that we see take place, there's 10 that are thwarted by the FBI first. So lock in, and let's see what these retards are doing.
These people aren't like fascists.
I literally showed him this clip. Yeah, they are fascists.
They are fascists. So at this point, I don't want to hear any talk from Republicans about, oh, no, guys, we just have simple disagreements. Republicans are ugly, they're immoral, and they're fascist. I don't want anything to do with them.
But that's not true, actually, because he is more and more happy to actually align himself and collaborate with some other people. Like, he actually made a couple of videos praising Nick Fuentes. He made a couple of videos praising Tucker Carlson. He made a couple of videos praising Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, what do all these people have in common? Oh, they don't like Jews. They all don't like Jews. So he's more than happy aligning himself with the ugly, immoral people on the right. Specifically, if they follow his actual ideology, which is he wants the downfall of Western civilization. That includes America. That also includes Israel, which is why he's a communist rat fuck. An inbred rat that, in my opinion, contributed to the incitement of the murder of 4 police officers, which we were probably going to be covering today, because that's part of what I actually was helping Think Before You Sleep on.
It's the reality of what Republicans are today in America.
Well, that escalated quickly. Is he going to say why Republicans are fascist? Nope. He's just going to allude to some vague media story that people can't recognize anymore because it was too long ago. So basically, this is just a 1 minute short of the Young Turks owner and horse enthusiast, Cenk Uygur, calling his political opponents evil with no explanation.
I wonder if that might radicalize some retards in his audience to kill us. I wonder if that'll happen.
Is it any wonder why the modern left is becoming more and more a synonym for the word violence?
Nope.
Especially after watching every reasonable person flee that party or get ousted for not being far left enough. But the way we got here is not a mystery.
It's an actual cesspool, man. It's evil. And, in my opinion, one of the reasons why they're able to survive is because they steal elections, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. They're literally importing people to vote for them. So they're not even trying to win our votes as much as they're trying to bring in retards to outvote us. Which is truly insane.
In fact, I think a lot of the progression towards radicalism is quite intentional. Speaking of the Young Turks, allow me to introduce...
You want to know something absolutely horrifying? The murder of Charlie Kirk was not just a tragedy, but it was also a very effective political strategy.
Yep.
Tale as old as time, political assassinations work.
Yep.
We don't have a Charlie Kirk.
Nope.
We're probably going to lose the midterms because of all the infighting on the right. And the reality is... They murdered our best soldier. They murdered a wonderful man, a man of God, a man that had a family. They murdered him. They celebrated his death, and it worked out for them. It just worked out for them. So, of course, they're going to slightly nudge people towards political violence while having, deniability. I didn't say political violence. I just called them all Nazis and fascists. So that's where we're at.
To former employee
Oh, God, Jimmy Dore. Here we go. I know where we're going.
Jimmy Dore, telling the Young Turks audience to assault cops.
When you're around cops, right, you're like, oh, you want to be like...
He's literally going to use this for the video. Oh my god. This is the story that I helped him on a bit. Because a lot of people don't know about this.
Compliant, right? But at the same time, if you don't know they're going to slam your head into a car or something, like, you don't want to be so compliant. Right. So when do I fight them? When do I give a little resistance?
I've watched enough body cam footage to know that almost every time someone's having a bad experience with the police, is because they were violently resisting arrest after breaking the law.
True. Like, for example, George Floyd, resisting arrest, died of a fentanyl overdose, became the messiah of the left. They burnt down our cities.
His advice to be extra confrontational towards the police instead of being assertive and polite is going to get people killed. Now, in this specific case that Jimmy was talking about, the officer was in the wrong and self-defense would have been justified. But the issue here is that he applies this advice generally to police encounters, while suggesting with no evidence that the woman they're talking about in the last clip was assaulted by the officer because she was black.
But what's wrong with this guy? Is it like a power thing? Is it roid rage? Is it something like weirdly sexual?
I would guess the woman was not white who he did this to.
Oh.
This was said in 2013, around the time that BLM started. Non-white means black because those were the types of videos that were going viral during that period. So the suggestion is that the officer attacked a woman for being black, and he made this assertion.
I'm honestly extremely glad that they went back to a 2013 clip for this. Because so often you hear, well, it's just the last 6 months have been ridiculous. No, motherfucker, it has been the last 20 years. We are tired of this. Tired of this. And I like Jimmy Dore. He's funny. But do I look at his political views of the world? Fuck no. He is a comedian who talks into a mic. You feel me? Like, funny doesn't equate to listen to everything he says, alright? So I'm very, very happy that they took a clip from, we got 12 years ago? Going on 13 years ago? And he was saying this shit? Come on, son. Ain't nothing changed.
Assertion with no evidence. She was white. And the problem is that when you make this kind of assertion on a topic that's already been heated since Rodney King in the 90s, followed by saying that you should be violent towards police officers, you're going to inspire certain people to take action.
That's the thing. Even if a normal person doesn't, you have to realize, if you have a community, if you have a fan base of 4 million subscribers, like the Young Turks, okay? If you have 4 million subscribers, and only 1% of them are retarded. Only 1% of them are actually retarded. That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
That's a small army.
It's like 4,000
That's a small army.
people.
That's 4,000 people
Yeah.
or whatever. Like, that's crazy.
Which brings us to this
40,000 even.
guy, Gavin
Yeah,
Long,
you're right.
who is a fan of the Young...
Please.
Wow, that's 40,000 people. That's a crazy number. And you don't think one of them would do something? Yeah, so I covered Gavin Long in the past. I'm really happy this is getting more spotlight, because I think that the Young Turks need to go to jail for this.
Turks and killed 4 police officers.
Yep.
Before the shooting, Gavin had uploaded reaction videos to content from the Young Turks, one of them being where Jimmy Dore said this in response to a police dispute that actually involved a black woman this time, who was being arrested.
I don't know what I would do in that situation. So if you go over and you confront the cops, which you would do in any other situation if they weren't cops.
That's right.
If any other situation, if there were 2 grown men pouncing on a woman who is pregnant and she's screaming and she's not a threat to anybody, you would go over there and you would start by punching those guys. That's how you would start.
Hey, retard, in this hypothetical example where you're the hero, do you know any of the context before you start acting? Are you saying that people should beat up cops because they hear a woman shouting? What if she had a gun?
Oh no! A woman is crying! Burn the Constitution! That's literally the leftist mindset. And it's insane, and it's destructive, and that's why we're all falling apart. We are falling apart because of this radical, feminized society that we are creating for ourselves. That, in my opinion, is the root cause of almost every single issue in the West. It's this radical, feminized...
Let's break that down a little bit. If we're going to do this, let's do it right. The feminization is the cause of every problem in the West. What do we mean by feminization? Well, what is typically female? Agreeability. Let's see. We'll say confrontation, but not for solution. Confrontation for confrontation's sake. Now I know I'm putting myself out there as kind of a black and white kind of thinker, and I know I have a lot of women in my life who are going to be like, hey, but they know me. I'm pure of heart, and I'm not saying this as a bad, okay? But we're going to use my son as an example. So I'm raising my son. Well, my home is going to be a microcosm for the world. So, bing, you got a little boy coming up. Now I am the president of my home, and my wife, the vice president, or however, whatever, you know. So as we're raising him up, we can either go with leftist ideology. Everybody is important. Everybody is equal. Everybody, you know, basically socialism, but socialism. You know what I mean? It very in public, not in private. Anyways, or we can go middle of the road. Hey, buddy, let's make sure we treat people with respect, but we don't let them walk all over us, right? Or right wing. This is all on you, but this is all on you. You can ask me for help if you need, maybe, but everything's on you. Now, I'm taking 3 gigantic worldviews and I'm breaking them down to a sentence, so fuck off. Okay, but that's basically, in a nutshell, how we chose to do it was center, so we can be like, look, man, we have empathy, we understand the downtrodden, we are the downtrodden. We don't make a ton of money. He sees, like, he's never gone hungry, but we don't have it in abundance. So there's the value of $1, and you know he has his job now. So this microcosm that we're doing, my son is, in my opinion, very, very well rounded, very mature, very demure for a 16-year-old. But not because I let him fall on the ground and cry and cry and no, motherfucker, get up, try it again. Get up, try it again. Here, I'll help you. It's kind of a little rant about what do you think is going to happen to an entire population if we just let them sit and cry and complain, and not worse, but give them what they are asking for. Oh, I have anxiety and I can't go to work. But I can't. I need to eat, but I don't know how to cook, and so go die. Go and die. Or do something for yourself. There's only 2 options here. And unfortunately, the social programs that we have accumulated are just an incentive for more people to come on over, and not to provide a solution. No. To take. So it is so unfortunate that I am a well-rounded, even keel, cool temperament kind of motherfucker. And individually, in person, we have no issues. As a populace, Islam doesn't belong in America. Islam doesn't belong in Australia. Islam does not belong in the UK. Need I go on? They have the entire Middle East, where everybody's already accustomed and cultured to obey Sharia law, or some variation of. We're not. Oh my God. A Muslim man talks to my wife in any form or fashion in the way that we know they will, it's a wrap. I'm going to prison. Point blank and period. I'm so scared I don't let my wife go out at night. In West Seneca, it's a very sheltered community. I'm going to say it's primarily white. But realistically, it's not the race, it's that we all think the same, relatively. Right? If my street, we'll take my little street, okay? I don't think there is a different race on my street. I don't. And I feel very comfortable. I feel safe. They could be cooking meth down there, and they could be name something else down here. But if it's happening in the privacy of their own home, and I'm not being affected, and there's not cops up and down the street, then who am I to, you feel me? That's how I'm living my life. So how bad does it have to be where I have to be like, God damn, like, constant drama, like, I've lived in hooder neighborhoods. Take that how you will. There's the times I got robbed. And I'm saying the white hoods and the black hoods. Hood is a mentality. They ain't trying to get out of there. Fuck no, that's where they thrive. I am not like that. I wanted to get to the burbs. Let me get to the burbs where I feel comfortable. I leave my front door unlocked. You know, you hear that? We used to be able, I still do. I leave my front door unlocked. I leave the keys in my car. My buddy lives across the street. He takes my car all the time. So I leave the keys in the ignition, in my car. Why? Because this is such a safe neighborhood, that if something truly does happen, I would be shocked, and then I would have to take my lashings because I let it happen. But I mean, it's been years, literal years, I've not locked my front door. But that would 100% change if the demographics on my street started to change. Call me what you want to call me. I'll take it now. Let's get back. Oh, I'm so frustrated. Come on, next, what you got?
His mindset of, no, actually, we have to import people and care about them as our own. Also, women need to be more like men and not have children and kill our children. Well, now that we're not having children, we need to import people instead to keep up the birth rate. Not that we should have children, so we should import savages that have lots of children. But that's literally what we're looking at. That's literally what we're doing.
And was threatening people. What if she was screaming things that were untrue to garner sympathy from bystanders? Criminals do that all the time, so telling people to assault cops based on small amounts of information that they would realistically have in a situation like this is incredibly irresponsible. The full context is on screen for those who care, but basically a pregnant black woman was put face down on her stomach and put in handcuffs for failing to identify. The baby ended up being fine when she was born, but why was this woman put into that position?
Good
Well,
question.
it's because she was resisting arrest.
Oh.
Yes, the arrest was unlawful because in California you don't have to identify in that specific context. However, instead of educating people on how stupid it is to resist arrest unless your life is in danger, even if that arrest is unlawful, Jimmy suggests that basically all cops are racist and you should be violently hostile towards them.
Or you could just identify yourself, actually, and not just resist arrest, actually.
She's
Well,
not reason to-
again, that's some savage shit. Like, I don't understand. Like, it's actually savagery, this whole resisting arrest thing. Like, the police, in an ideal world, the police are doing their absolute best to maintain order. That's what they're trying to do. Why fight them?
to arrest her. And she's not going anywhere.
That's not true. If you watch the footage, you can see her walking away from the police.
He already said there wasn't a crime that was committed, yet you are black, and I'm a little pissed off that you're not doing exactly what I said. So I'm gonna hurt
This
you.
dude is winning all of the social justice warrior points. Yeah, I'm a police and I hate you because you're black.
It's actually pretty funny because I never really watched him back in the Young Turk days. I probably would have fucking hated him. He has definitely calmed down on that a little bit since he's gotten his own thing. Since he's not doing the Young Turk thing. But, oh my god, this is unbearable.
I'm gonna brutalize you right now in public in front of a school. I don't give a fuck because I'm a cop, and that's why I became a cop.
Cops bad, cops abusive. Cops became cops because they want to terrorize black people. This is what he's saying. You don't think this is radicalizing? You don't think this is going to make people violent?
I'm not a big thinker, and I like brutality.
For one, Jimmy fails to mention that the white lady said someone else witnessed the black girl punching her car and violently screaming at her, so the black lady might have lucked out with an unlawful arrest for failure to identify. She could have very well been guilty, and that might be the actual reason for why she was resisting. More importantly, and I withheld this information from earlier for dramatic effect, but if you go frame by frame on the body cam footage, which the Young Turks should know to do, they're a news organization, but if you go frame by frame, you can see the pregnant black lady is actually put on her side, not her stomach. She's on her side the whole time.
Damn.
So while this arrest was technically unlawful, the cops, in fact, were not trying to beat her up. The way the Young Turks reported this story, followed by their conclusion about cops, is actually kind of evil.
People who join the police like brutality. That's why they're cops. They dig this shit. Those cops are brutal maniacs.
We're gonna go ahead and paint another picture. In another life, I drove with felonious amounts of prescription pills, illicit substances, every single day, multiple times a day, for 16 years. Therefore, now remember I said felonious, life-ending amounts of stuff. I hated police because the second they found out what I was doing or caught what I was doing, I'm done. So, is it the cops' problem? Or is it Sean's problem? Now that I am a recovered drug addict, and I don't ride with these things anymore, and I find myself just, doing 3 miles an hour over, and I get a cop behind me, I get the flutter, but then I remember, oh, you don't have drugs. You're good. Now maybe that's me being white and not. But let's be honest, the majority of cops around here are black anyway. So what the fuck would I be like? You know what I mean? So, point of the story is, there was one time I got pulled. I had 80 oxys. I had a cooler full of bud, scale, bags. There was no mistaking what I was doing. Riding with intent to sell. Point blank and period. And that's, in New York, they do per pill. So it would have been 80 counts of blah 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 blah. Again, was just there, and thankfully, whoever you believe in, they were looking for a different guy that night. And my asshole dropped out of my fucking shorts, but I'm making a point that when I was a scumbag, I hated the people trying to support the law, uphold the law. I was the problem. But you don't get a lot of people talking about themselves being the problem. Well, they're trying to stop me from doing what I'm doing. Well, yeah, you're a fucking retard. Anywho.
Whether she was guilty of a crime or not, if the cops
It's so crazy, because I think cops are some of the bravest people in society. I don't know, man. They're putting their body on the line, getting ready for infinite scrutiny and criticism by the leftoid freaks, death threats constantly from certain communities, and they're doing it to keep societies safe. It's absolutely crazy that this is like okay by social commentary standards.
are engaged in an unlawful arrest, do not resist unless your life is in danger. Assert your rights and then punish them in court, not on the street. Going back to Gavin Long, in response to these Jimmy Dore clips, you can see the Young Turks fan is repeating the same rhetoric that Jimmy said, while also saying that he will beat up cops, as the Young Turks segment he is reacting to is being reflected on his glasses.
By the way, there's nothing to de-escalate. Nothing's happened. They come in, they escalate.
The cops came in. You're supposed to be the de-escalator. You
Now,
came.
a lot of people didn't pick up on this, but I think I even pointed this out to Think Before You Sleep. In his glasses, you see the reflection of the Young Turks. While this guy ended up murdering 5 police officers, in his reflection, while he's talking about being violent against police officers, is the reflection of the Young Turks. If that's not some of the most terrifying fucking thing ever, I don't know what is. This is the scariest thing ever.
In and escalated the
Also,
situation.
let's just remind each other that the Young Turks was the name of a Turkish terrorist organization that was genociding Armenian people. And they literally named their show after a Turkish terrorist organization. But anyway.
What if they started punching her?
They didn't punch her, though. Even though the arrest was unlawful, they used minimum force considering the circumstances.
What if they started punching her?
Right, then
So you just let it go?
They didn't.
I don't know, what would you
At
do?
what point do you step in?
I'm not sitting and watching.
I don't know what I would do.
To him.
I don't know what I would do.
I will open my trunk and get a tire iron and then call my dad.
And he says he'll get the tire iron. I don't know what I'll do, but I'm not sitting and watching. I would have came through. I would have not complied. I would have died by protecting that woman.
Protect her from what?
So brave.
All they did was put her in handcuffs.
So this dude thinks that it's worth dying, all right, martyring himself, some would even say, epic foreshadowing. So it's worth martyring yourself to prevent a woman from being remotely uncomfortable for 5 minutes while police try to identify if she's a criminal? Really? Is that it? For nothing? You would die for nothing? Wow, you would martyr yourself for that? Epic foreshadowing, once again.
She wasn't in any danger, despite the Young Turks deliberately trying to make their audience believe she was being beat up for being black. It's like he's being programmed, and he'll act in whatever way they tell him. Also, if you watch Actual Justice Warrior's video on it, you can see him saying some schizo stuff about race. So the fact that the Young Turks are pointing out that she was black and then accusing the cops of being racist when there's no evidence of it is important. Two cops not knowing the law about identification in California and arresting someone for it is not racism. It's them being idiots, and it's something they should be punished for.
True.
But the evidence that it was racially motivated is entirely speculation
no
from
evidence.
the Young Turks.
No evidence.
The only racism that came out of this situation...
I love how it's like, you know, Islamic terrorist attack happens. Cenk Uygur says, it has nothing to do with the fact that he's a Muslim. It has nothing to do with it. It's Israel. It's Israel. A cop arrests a criminal. It's racially motivated. Every single time. Every single time. Pretty crazy how that keeps happening.
was from the black lady herself.
She just called the police for whatever reason. I don't know.
You know, some people just feel like sometimes they're,
Okay, I
you know,
just
so...
feel threatened by her because she white.
Was that?
She white?
Making threats to me.
She white?
I felt threatened by her.
So the Young Turks saying that this was a racist attack and titling their video, "She's pregnant and black, they're cops, you know how this ends," followed by telling their audience to assault cops is problematic because everyone has people like Gavin Long in their audience,
That's right.
some more than others.
Yeah, I was also a nation of it.
He blamed Israel for the attack in Australia on Piers Morgan. No shot. No shot. Are you joking? Cenk actually went onto Piers Morgan's show and blamed the Islamic terrorist attack in Australia that murdered 15 people. He blamed that on Israel? Holy shit, man. What are we gonna do, bro? Like, these people are crazy. It's almost like they're running defense for Islamic terrorists or something. It's almost like they're running defense for Islamic terrorists or something.
Islam member.
Some, actually a lot more than others, which is why you don't encourage violence when you speak publicly. Young Turks fan Gavin Long went on to ambush and shoot 6 police officers, killing
Yeah, oh, what a nightmare.
4 of them about 2 weeks after the death of Alton Sterling, who lived in the same community.
And then the 5th one died years later. Like, he fought for his life for years, and he ended up dying years later.
Alton Sterling was yet another black man who would still be alive if he had followed police orders.
If you want to make it out of a situation safely and alive, listen to the officer's commands.
Contrary to what TY's Jimmy Dore might say, a quick trip to the station is not worth your life.
Gavin Long was directly inspired by the Young Turks. Gavin Long made
The rise in anti-Semitism is because of Israel, though. Dude, I love when people, like... Okay, the reason why this terrorist attack happened is because radical Islam is a cancerous ideology. Okay? Radical Islam, well, they would kill Jews, they would kill Christians.
I'm going to stop this now because I've realized how... I mean, I'm going to sit here and do this for hours, but I realized that I don't need this video to be hours long. I think you get my fucking point. This is getting ridiculous. People are starting to get radicalized. I am starting to get radicalized. 5 years ago, I was the most center person you could ever meet. That's completely changed. Completely. Unapologetically. Let's do better, guys. Keep America. America. That's all I'll say.